Oh, teachers, I want to hear from you on this. Should teachers have dress codes? I want to hear from you in the comments section because we have one school there. They're considering it. They're kicking it around, and it's causing a bit of a stir in this community.
Should teachers have a dress code? That's a big question in Torrington tonight. Right now, the district only has rules for students, but the board is considering changing that. Fox 61's Valerie Moravi was at tonight's meeting and brings us the latest.
Well, this is not the first time the school board has tried to expand the dress code. The first attempt was more than 2 decades ago, and the school board members say they're in favor of expanding the rules, and they're concerned about safety and potential distraction.
A new employee dress code could be implemented at all Torrington public schools if approved.
We don't want folks to come into work looking like they just roll out of bed. So we wanted to just put it to paper, what is acceptable attire for our employees and cafeteria workers, custodians, paraeducators. It kind of covers everybody.
I want to hear from you, elementary teachers who are constantly getting on the ground, circle time, running around, playing with kids. I want to hear from you on this. I want to hear from the teacher out there, and I know that you're out there. Things are they're pretty lax at your school. You like it. You may have 1 or 2 collared shirts overall in your wardrobe. And your principal is cool with the t-shirts. I want to know, I want to hear from you. How do you feel about this? He said it there. How employees should come to school not looking like they roll out of bed. Ooh, this debate is going to be something.
Proposal was discussed at Torringford Elementary School Wednesday evening, along with school members. Co-chair of Torrington Board of Education, Edward Corey, says the goal of this proposal is to build a more professional learning environment.
We're trying not to be restricted for no reason. Wearing things like mesh clothing, short skirts and dresses that are too short. A lot of the same things that we expect of our students. And to be clear, very few teachers are dressing this way.
And what will be considered more acceptable? Corey says some of the restrictions will include a ban on hooded sweatshirts and ripped jeans.
So we felt that the jeans are perfectly professional as long as they're not torn to pieces. Really what we don't want is a lot of stuff that people already aren't wearing. Things like mesh clothing, short skirts and dresses that are too short.
Another hot.
And you could see it as his eyes kind of shifted as he was going through, what is not acceptable. Because as with a lot of things, when you implement a rule, there's a lot of, what aboutism? What about this? What about that? And then you're going to have, inevitably, you're going to have a lot of people who are wearing acceptable attire. They're going to wonder, well, why don't you just go talk to the people that you're actually concerned about, as opposed to making a rule to cover everybody?
Topic: sneakers. School officials say they got emails from teachers who say they reach for sneakers for safety purposes, comfort, and they can get around quickly if there is an emergency. In the end, Corey says the change of dress code is part of the basics of education, where the only focus is the learning experience.
I think a lot of people remember when schools were high functioning and students had really great test scores, and we're looking to get back there. And it's all part of the same program to get our schools out of a little bit of a funk and really get them moving to a place where everyone wants them to be.
Now the school board will meet next week to cast their vote. In Torrington, Valerie.
So that meeting is going to be, I can imagine it's going to be explosive. And again, you're going to have a lot of teachers who their attire is perfectly fine. They're going to be hopping mad and wondering, like, why are we doing this? And they're going to want to hear the justification. Well, you heard it right there. And, it may not, you're not going to get a sufficient, satisfying answer as to why they're doing this. They know why they're doing this. There's people within this district who are not dressing appropriately, and the administration just doesn't want to go to them individually and say, hey, I need you to wear some closed-toed shoes, or hey, I noticed that you wear a lot of t-shirts. At least give me a collar on that shirt. You can go to Walmart or somewhere like this. I got this shirt from Amazon for maybe $10-12, and it does the job. I have a ton of these, and they just became part of a uniform for me, where I just picked one of these shirts, some khakis, and I was good to go for the day. So yeah, this is on administration. There's some people that they needed to talk to individually, but for whatever reason, they chose not to have those one-on-one conversations with those individuals. And then when you bring in grades like that, I feel like I want to know what you feel about that. When you talk about the student grades, I just feel like that's just a shield to kind of try to stop the conversation or stop the debate about why are we putting in this dress code for teachers when you put up, well, it's about the students. We want to get back to this type of academic performance, this level of academic performance. I don't like that. I think that's weak. I think that's weak. You know, when we have these meetings to kick things around, we're supposed to have that back and forth. You know, I hear you, you hear me, and then, you know, hopefully we're able to meet in the middle, and that's how the process is supposed to work. So I don't like bringing up student achievement. I do, yes, you want a professional work environment, and I believe that you can achieve that without necessarily having a dress code for teachers, because you just don't want to drop those seeds in the minds of your teachers that you don't trust them to do the right thing. I think that for most teachers, if you go up to them, if you have that conversation with them, they'll make that adjustment. If their dress isn't up to at least a minimum level, I mean, if it's not up to a minimum level, if they're wearing flip-flops, I mean, you can have that conversation face to face. I need you to wear some closed-toed shoes, okay? Appreciate it. Boom, and we're done. And we don't have to bother the rest of the teachers or ruffle their feathers. So we're going to keep an eye on this and see what happens in that meeting. I will let you know. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next update.